Pillars guides are available on a number of general subjects, but there are many more that could be of real benefit in different countries. Some organizations have written their own guides. This may sound challenging, but many workshop participants have been surprised by their ability to do this. Just as most participants feel initially they will never be able to do successful translation work, most participants also believe that they will never be able to write a guide. The writing process starts with workshop participants deciding what the local needs are and agreeing on the subject that would help them most in their work. Just as the layout of pillars makes them easy for small groups to translate in a workshop setting, their layout also makes it easier for participants to write a new guide. No one has to write a whole book. Participants work in a small group to write 2 or 3 sections each. Planning a new guide means first understanding the way the guides are laid out. The format of pillars is based on double-page sections with around 25 sections in each book. When a new subject is agreed, usually at the end of a translation workshop, participants consider how to break the subject up into sections. People are then asked to gather information on several sections. For the guide to be useful, it has to be based on relevant information. People will need to talk with local people, interview experts, consult libraries and resource centers, and to visit government staff. This means that participants return for a pillars writing workshop understanding a great deal more about the subject and bringing material and information with them. At the beginning of the workshop, participants will look again at their original plans and decide together exactly what sections the new guide will contain. They need to think carefully about how to make the new guide really useful for the target audience. Writing is carried out by small groups of workshop participants. This gives people lots of opportunity to discuss how to share the information effectively. They can support and encourage each other during the writing workshop. Pillars guides contain more than just written information. They also need discussion questions, illustrations, ideas for practical action, and Bible studies. Writing discussion questions is particularly difficult to do well. People often start by writing questions which just test comprehension. This isn't the idea of pillars at all. The questions need to draw out information from readers and help people to consider their experiences, their situation, and their needs and how they can respond to these. The participants need to think about any useful practical activities to include. What about ideas for role plays or songs? What kind of illustrations will be needed? Writers need to think carefully about illustrations that will help group members to understand about the section, especially if they cannot read. Some illustrations may also need labels. If possible, the organization should arrange for an artist to come along and join in the workshop for the final few days. They can sit with the writers, understand what they want, and draw rough sketches to show people during the workshop. to make sure they have the right ideas. These can be finalized later, ready for printing. The workshops help with the practicalities of good writing, being clear, concise, accurate, using language well, and getting spelling and punctuation right. Participants are regularly reminded to keep the target audience in mind. Don't write to impress, write for community groups to understand. It is important to create a safe and supportive atmosphere so that people won't feel threatened if their work needs to be changed or improved. Good writing doesn't come naturally. The skills of editing and reviewing are also very important. Most writing is improved greatly by good editing. Participants learn about these skills and practice them during the workshop. Writing is hard work, and so the workshops are designed to be varied and avoid boredom and frustration. There are plenty of opportunities to use energizers and songs. A field visit is important for people to try out and test their writing during the workshop with people who represent the target audience. After the workshop, when the new guide is finished, the organization will need to get the writing typed up and use a designer to prepare the book. Once a first draft is ready, this can be sent to the participants to field test, trying it out with groups as part of their work, taking note of things that could be changed and improved. These comments, together with comments from 1 or 2 expert advisors, all need to be woven into a final draft. Only then will the brand new guide be ready to print. A very exciting day. Some organizations arrange to launch their new guides in local languages. A venue and guest speaker are organized and the date agreed. Church denominations, NGOs, government agencies, and pastors are some of the people who could be invited to attend. It is also a really good idea to make sure representatives of the media will come along too and give some free publicity. A new guide represents a lot of hard work, and it is a great opportunity to celebrate and spread the news of this great achievement. Groups who are starting to work with pillars often find it hard to believe that they could translate, let alone write their own materials. However, when they try it out, they find the process exciting and satisfying. It gives a huge sense of pride and ownership.
We did this translation because we really much felt that we needed something local about HIV, because from the experience we see that HIV was a taboo in the communities, especially in villages and churches, and people did not want to talk about it. But now, because we have this guide and we have used it in churches, people are free to talk about AIDS in the churches. So this is what we wanted, because we wanted people to be able to speak about it freely, not be ashamed about it, because everyone has to play his role in this situation where we need to stop the spread of AIDS. So this is why we wanted it to be in local language, so it can be widely distributed and people can access it easily. And the benefit is great. As we know, people are really interested, We finished all the guides we have printed, and we are working on a new edition. So I think it's a great benefit for the population, having a guide in Maori, and especially have it done ourselves was something we didn't think we would be able to, but with the experience of translating the Pillars Guide, we have been able to do it. And now, as the president of ACTS will say, we are able to fly with our own wings.